Alright, so I'm super tempted every time I try to make this video. I've done it like 5 times and it always comes out at like 25 minutes. Um, so I'm tempted to pause and like talk about a lot of stuff, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you 2 videos and they're both going to be short. One is the Truth Slayer that I just did that I think I did okay on, and the other one's going to be this one, and we're just going to go through it. So this one in particular has a lot of those missed damage opportunities and a lot of like just doing 360s and getting caught. So here, if you're going to rush OS and pull it. If you're going to shoot them from a place that isn't as likely to get you grenaded. Um, I know I sound like I'm being a dick. It's just because I want to get this done in time. Okay. You saw that maybe they were pushing Blue Bend. You looked at Blue Bend and nobody was there. As soon as you looked away, there were people pushing Blue Bend. This is a good play by the other team. Ted is dropping into yard. You don't have to deal with him yet. But you do have to deal with Volunteer, who just spawned on red. All of this might have been avoided if you'd just taken a look at red before you went and tried to deal with blue, because Kalo was looking at it already. Kalo has disappeared on you, which leaves you alone, one shot. Ideally, you would not be in the middle of this. You would be over towards the pillars, kind of trying to cut off sight lines for a guy who may have jumped up. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups. You got to be ready for this guy jumping catwalk, because that's more likely for someone to go to first than for the security. Once Kalo left, you were probably screwed either way, but might have had a better chance. Okay, you know there's a guy red nest, and you know he's throwing nades at you. Slow down. They're going to try and kill Kalo first. Keep an eye on this, but move towards the blue bend where your teammates are probably about where you're going to have help, where you at least have a chance to go and fight a 2-on-2 for an even battle rather than leaving your teammate for a 2-on-1 and you fighting 1-on-1 over here uphill on something that's going to take long enough that they can collapse on you from blue bend. Okay, and you turn around, Kalo's already dead. You get some help, and you die, even though you had good shots. Your teammates now have catwalk, you spawn over here. This is great, this is where you want to be. Just keep playing over here, keep playing over here. Nope. Okay, just kidding. You're doing the right thing now. You've forced space to drop down, you've played at a distance so he can't use his rocket launcher. He's now your biggest threat. Unfortunately, you're going to forget about him. You see that your teammate has died on red nest, so you're thinking, maybe I should do something about red nest, but you stop and you hesitate and you look at tower first, even though we've got 2 people in tower, and let space get behind us over here where he has help. You gotta pick one. Pick one and deal with it. Ideally, here, I think I would have liked to see you just keep using the plat, look down in yard, say, is space there? You can look through the floor here. Like, it's mesh, you can see through it. You can see through this one of the other panels as well. You can see through this whole panel. Just look down here and find out where space is. You can find him in here. He showed up on your radar while you were sprinting here. You stay off radar, shoot him a couple times, and then ground pound him, or just shoot him all the way to death, and use your 2 grenades that you just got off of spawn. You're totally going to be able to kill him. Once he's dead, then you guys can kill red nest and get something done over there. So here, once again, you spawn tower, look blue. Okay, you think that guy is left red. Space didn't die yet. Space is still behind you. You gotta be aware of that. You hear shooting, are responding to the shooting that you hear. Spin around. They saved your ass from space. Once space is dead, he's no longer a threat, but you ran all the way back there and missed your opportunity to contest these guys going into blue base. I'm just going to keep the outlines on so you can see it. Here again, you're going into the catwalk. Like, being in the stronghold isn't required. You can play sneaky if you want to, and let them, like, come to you. You also just left tower while camo was up. It was like 48. You just spontaneously left tower to go over here, sit at the old OS, get shot a couple times, and generally take yourself out of the play. Like, I have no idea what you've been doing for the last 25 seconds since the OS was about to come up. and it's something as little as just trying to thrust down to mid-cat for no reason that wastes 25 seconds. I think that's the takeaway there. So you're getting some decent damage here, but again, you can see every time you look at something and then back down like this, you just never quite actually see the guy. Like you're looking at him while he's behind cover, and you're disappearing when he pokes out of cover. That's a great kill on Space Christ. Not going to give you shit for that one. I'm happy you stayed alive. I don't want you to lose that, but in general, hopefully you can see just as you go and do these films on your own, just all these times where you're looking at the right thing for the most part, but you're doing so many 180s and 360s that you're not actually catching the guy, or you're not sure which of the three guys who you saw or who you suspect might be there is the biggest threat. Notice Dustin has snuck all the way around you guys in blue. You lost track of him, even though you knew he was there after he dropped down trying to throw the grenade at you in Top Cat. And then while you're looking at him, these guys come up behind you and kill you. It's just like everything is, a half step behind where it needs to be or a full step behind where it needs to be. And you end up getting no damage on either of them, even though you knew exactly where they were and that they might be threatening you. Here you're able to get Volunteer because you went to him immediately off of a spawn where you knew you could get to him and cut him off. Here, the route to take to cut off the route you took to cut off Dustin was poor because you covered an angle that they already had. Dustin was then able to kill Kahlo alone. And here you are fighting 3-on-1 over at Blue Bend. No matter how well you fight, you can't win 3-on-1. It just won't happen at this level of play. Okay, so you know they're over by blue. Space is over here, or Zeus is over there. All right, shot in a melee, I'll take it. We got to get up, get positioning. Power-ups are up. I guarantee you Camo's still here, watch. Camo's up still. At the very least, if you're going to get positioning, like, this is just a more circuitous route. If you had just gone immediately straight up, you would have been up here on Catwalk where you can shoot these guys. When I say straight up, I mean cage to corner, jump over here, you look and see if they're going blue bend, you look and see if he went mid-cat, he didn't, you might even still get a shot on him, and you could scope in with your BR and kill these guys over near the light rifle. But this isn't bad, it's just a little bit slower. This allows all of them to spawn outside. You guys have control, so hopefully you'll be able to make them die for that. Kahlo dies in the stronghold instead of going and making a play. You guys may need to rotate on this, so you need someone to help you. Oh, man. So if you guys had killed Lexi and Nugget stayed alive and just waited for the spawn and Kahlo hadn't died, you guys could have made some of them die for Nest, not lost any lives, and then killed Lexi as he rotated out to Blue Bend. Instead, you drop down here while Alex is also dropped down here and Nug is dead and Kahlo is respawning in alley. And you guys have completely given up positioning for no reason. I need to stop pausing this so this is a manageable length, but I feel the need to explain some of these plays so that you know how to think about the game. I mean, it's also hard to teach you how to think about the game rather than just telling you this is how this play works. Because really, you just have to do the work yourself. So this is good. You know they're going to push Catwalk. I like it. Like that you're getting nades out, getting them weak. Okay, but here's the thing. Your team isn't in a position to help you yet. And you guys are going to get red nest unless they come out and try and stop it. You can punish them if they try and stop it. You don't need to soar at this right away. Now maybe you get in here and you contest it, but stay on the backside. Make Volunteer die, but don't die yourself. What happens is you die, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but you could have gone back and got, 3 or 4 more shots. Just another 80 damage from 4 shots. Your team is able to slay out here, but it's still just like something that could have been just that little bit better, Here we're doing 360s. They're in red. We're not looking at them red. They're in blue. We're not looking at them blue. They're in red again. We're not looking. Okay. Finally, we got Zeus. But like that could have been done 10 seconds ago, and we could have done something to go and help Alex with Volunteer. Like if you'd back down the guys who were coming red nest, come back to help Volunteer, or back to help Killerdad kill Volunteer, and then looked back at this, and killed Lexi, that would have been much more productive. Here again, 360s, 360s, 360s. The entire time that he was capping that, 6 seconds solo capping from 40%, you were doing 360s. And then you get caught up there. That's partially because your teammates didn't help, but partially because you didn't contest Dustin getting up there. And you just have to have that, sixth sense of where people are going to be. So here again, you're getting damage on them from here, which is great. Just get up, get up. We can rotate on them. We can rotate to red nest. It's completely open. Camo is probably coming up soon. Killerdad got it really late after the last one went up so long. Yeah, it's not up yet. But look at this. Like, red nest is still open. And you know enough to go to red nest right now. So like I'm not seeing the pattern in your decision making that's causing them to be bad sometimes and good other times. So here, like I like the idea that you're pushing outside with your team because you guys are going to get away with this, even though it's like Blue Bend is not the right rotation right now, but you guys are getting away with it because your entire team is going here and melting people together. It's a good cap. You've got the triple cap going again. That's going to give you guys time wherever they decide to cap, but you've already won the game. So yeah, I think I managed to go through that one a little bit faster, and that we've established some of the stuff from Truth Slayer. It was a little easier for me, which is great because the 25-minute video was just too unwieldy. Okay, you see the 360s, the not knowing where people are, and the times where you didn't prioritize the right target, like when space was underneath you. Just try to be more decisive about what you're going to look at, who you're going to kill, and identify which one is the biggest threat to you. Admittedly, that's something that's going to come over time, particularly identifying the biggest threat, because you're just going to notice as time goes on, like, oh shit, that rocket launcher really kills a lot of people in tower. Like, I'm worried about that. I don't want to have to deal with that. Let's finish him now while we still have the height advantage. Things like that you just can't get without time and without critical thinking. That you've done outside of just the normal course of going in, playing around, and getting offline. So anyway, yeah, I wish I had magic bullets for you again, but at the very least you can see here what some of the mistakes are, and hopefully that will give you enough of an understanding of what they are that you can identify them on your own and start to refine, like, okay, if I'm looking here a little bit more, I get this damage, or if I'm prioritizing this guy who's snuck through us underneath the blue alley, which happened at least 2 or 3 times in this match, definitely to the team's detriment, then you're going to be able to start catching those things and knowing that they're important and being ready for them to happen more and more often. Admittedly, the Bravo level, level of play is going to have some different things going on. You're not going to have the other team playing as fast, particularly from red to red security. But overall, it's still, if you're ready for the most threatening thing that you're going to see at the higher levels, then you're going to have an even easier time dealing with the less threatening things. Because if you're recognizing it that fast and you're ruling it out, then you know which other thing they might be trying. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this is useful. Otherwise, we'll be doing it in person for the other 3 games, so hopefully this will just act as a primer and I don't have to explain all of this like from the beginning when we do that. Thanks a lot.